Hey girl, has overpriced beauty hurt your wallet?
e.l.f. that.
This is how long this is. This is how long the bottle looks. Bruh.
We're pulling the curtain back on the messy side of e.l.f. cosmetics. And trust me, it's not pretty. From shady marketing stunts to billion-dollar drama, this brand looks like it's spiraling fast. Ever since they linked up with Hailey Bieber, whispers of chaos behind the scenes just won't stop. Then came that controversial commercial with Matt Rife, the one that left viewers furious, accusing the brand of being tone-deaf about domestic violence. And if that wasn't enough, countless customers are now claiming their products are wrecking their skin. We're talking breakouts, rashes, even burns. So what's really going on here? And why doesn't e.l.f. even follow Hailey Bieber after dropping $1 billion on her? That's beyond shady. Remember, Hailey gave up her most valuable project. And no, not Baby Jack Blues, but her beloved Rhode cosmetics, handing it straight over to e.l.f. And now here at Fame Drip, we're digging into the ugly truth about what went down. Now don't get me wrong, plenty of people swear by e.l.f. because the prices are low and the products are easy to grab. But when a brand blows up this big, the scandals always come crawling out. And today, we're walking you through their biggest controversies, the kind that make you second-guess every product sitting on your vanity. And we have to start with that so-called billion-dollar Hailey Bieber deal. Because let's clear this up right now, the story about her magically becoming a billionaire overnight? Straight up false. From day one, people were side-eyeing e.l.f. for dropping $1 billion on Rhode, out of all the beauty brands they could have acquired. Why hers? Why that price tag? It raises more questions than answers. And here's the catch. Rhode actually had 3 co-founders. Yes, Hailey was one of them, but that $800 million payout from e.l.f. didn't land in her pocket alone. She had to split it with partners. And after California's brutal taxes took their bite, she walked away with way less than people think. Sure, it was enough to reportedly clear Justin Bieber's looming debt to Scooter Braun, but fans are still side-eyeing, wondering if Rhode was ever really worth $1 billion in the first place.
It's like the craziest deal I have ever witnessed. e.l.f. just acquired Hailey Bieber's Rhode for $1 billion. Never before have I seen a brand launch, hit the meteoric success that it's hit in such a short period of time, and sell $1 billion valuation. Rhode launched June 15th, 2022, which means that the brand is nearly 3 years old, blown away. If you had told me that Rhode would be the first brand of all the brands on the docket for sale right now, I would have told you you're out of your mind, batshit crazy. One Size is up for sale. Makeup by Mario is up for sale. No Recipe is up for sale. All these brands have been in the game so much longer. Let's talk about her launches. Skincare, nothing crazy, no major actives. A lip liner that the whole world erupted about hating because it didn't last. A pocket blush that was not shade inclusive, that then became shade inclusive. My mind is blown. They're building themselves up to be a super strategic. To me, it was very strategically placed, specifically because they're about to go into retail, and it is so insanely hard to be a brand selling in Sephora. You need crazy money. They needed money and they needed backing, and they got.
Why was Hailey's brand chosen over the others? Was it luck, a prayer answered, or just a last-minute cash grab? Either way, it's obvious e.l.f. needed fresh revenue, but here's the kicker. For all the money they poured into Rhode, you'd expect them to plaster Hailey's face everywhere. Yet, they don't even follow her on Instagram. Not Hailey, not Rhode, nothing. And don't try to excuse it with, oh, maybe e.l.f. just doesn't follow anyone. Wrong. They follow plenty. Alicia Keys and her beauty line, even Chipotle, and Dunkin' Donuts. So explain this. $1 billion partner gets ignored, but a burrito bowl and a donut shop make the cut. That's embarrassing. It screams that something is seriously off behind the scenes. Fans are already speculating that e.l.f. isn't happy with the deal at all. Some even say it feels like deja vu of the Kylie Jenner-Cody scandal. Remember when Forbes rushed to crown Kylie the youngest self-made billionaire? Then they had to backtrack once they realized the numbers didn't add up. That same shady energy is now circling Hailey and Rhode, and the stock numbers back it up. e.l.f. stock has dipped this year, and insiders admit they don't think the Rhode acquisition is strong enough to bring it back. If this billion-dollar deal was truly a game changer, e.l.f. would be shouting it from the rooftops. Instead, it's been radio silence. For a brand that thrives on Instagram marketing, their silence is louder than words. Then came their most shocking misstep, putting Matt Rife, yes, that Matt Rife, in one of their major campaigns. The same comedian who's been dragged for making tasteless domestic violence jokes, promoted by a brand that sells mainly to women. That's not edgy, that's tone deaf. The backlash was instant and brutal. Fans called it a slap in the face, accusing e.l.f. of ignoring their own community's values just to chase clout. Out of all the celebrities they could have chosen, why him? One fan wrote. And that's the question everyone's asking. What it really shows is how disconnected e.l.f. has become from the audience that built them. They've always sold themselves as trendy, inclusive, socially aware. But these moves, they scream the opposite. And the more mistakes pile up, the more people start to wonder, does e.l.f. actually care about the values they claim to represent?
Hey girl, has overpriced beauty hurt your wallet?
e.l.f. that.
Alfino and Schmarns have gone to e.l.f. court from millions of clients, helping them to access beauty products they deserve at prices that won't injure their livelihoods.
Just ask the e.l.f.ing people.
I know a thing or two about red flags, and pricey makeup, you deserve better than that.
You may be entitled to benefits.
Let's get you those eyes, lips, funds.
Find out what your case and face are really worth.
Call us at 1-855-COLD-HARD-LASH.
That's 1-855-265-34.
273-2274.
How people gonna remember that?
Well, here's a number you can remember. $9.
Alfino Insurance, affordable beauty attorneys. Well, when the e.l.f. case for your eyes, lips, and face, call 1-855-265-347-372-274.
To me, the math just doesn't add up. Matt Rife might have polished his image with surgeries and slick styling, but let's be real, he's not a woman. He doesn't live that reality, yet he's out here making jokes about women being hit, about knowing their place in society. That's not edgy humor. That's straight up disrespect. And if anyone needed a reminder, go back to 2023. His Netflix special was flooded with sexist, tone-deaf jokes that rubbed audiences the wrong way. He got called out back then, but instead of pulling back, e.l.f. doubled down and paired him with drag queen Heidi N. Closet to push their big affordability campaign. The reaction? Stunned silence at first, then outrage. Fans weren't just mad at Rife, they were questioning e.l.f.'s entire judgment. Because pairing a comedian with a history of punching down at women alongside a drag queen for a feel-good inclusivity ad, that didn't look bold. It looked reckless. And the irony wasn't lost on anyone. A brand that claims to uplift women and celebrate community chose a spokesperson whose past words tore women down, then expected people to clap. Instead, fans started asking if e.l.f. even understood the very audience keeping them in business.
The girl with massive, yo, that's pretty close.
Yeah, they were not supposed to. You were thumb wrestling. I don't know.
I mean, both, honestly.
I don't love a giant. I don't want to look down and feel like God left a tag on you.
Okay.
I just don't want your to look like the gum from Sausage Party.
And you know what? Folks even joked that it's always the ones with the most filler in their face throwing the most shade. When the ad dropped, the backlash was instant. One viral comment nailed it. You didn't have the budget for a comedian who doesn't joke about abuse. Out of all the talent in the world, e.l.f. picked him. That outrage spread like wildfire, and people were stunned. The bigger question was, how did no one inside e.l.f. stop and say, wait, maybe this isn't a good look? Instead, it felt like they were chasing a risky Sydney Sweeney-style viral stunt, but this one backfired hard. e.l.f. scrambled into apology mode, releasing a statement that read, "You know us, we're always listening." This campaign was meant to humorously spotlight beauty and justice. We understand we missed the mark with our community. But at this point, fans weren't convinced sorry was enough. The fact that they quietly scrapped the whole Alfino and Scarman's law firm bit spoke volumes. Let's be real, women don't want to buy makeup from a man who cracks jokes about domestic violence. The idea that you'd promote cosmetics with someone making black-eye jokes, that's not edgy. That's offensive. And if e.l.f. thought Matt could smooth things over, they were dead wrong. His so-called apology came across like another punchline, pouring gasoline on the fire. Instead of accountability, it felt like he was mocking the very people hurt by his words. Fans were livid, pointing out this just proved he wasn't taking anything seriously. Then came another layer of irony. Matt has always been hypersensitive whenever people call out his own cosmetic work. Anytime someone mentions his jawline or hints at surgery, he flips defensive on Instagram. At one point, he even snapped back with, "Lying about medical history is illegal, FYI," which only made people roll their eyes harder. Like, you can joke about women being hit, but you Can't handle jokes about your jawline?
You guys know this video? So this is a Chicago facial plastic surgeon who is calling out Matt Rife, or that's at least what a lot of people on the internet are saying. This surgeon made a video saying he created one of the best jawlines of all time, and then their patient got canceled after. In my opinion, it's not clear if he's talking specifically about Matt Rife. He certainly doesn't identify him by name. Matt Rife didn't really help himself by going to the comments and saying it's illegal to leak medical information. And, he's 100% right about that. I think that, as a plastic surgeon, we're bound, just like Matt Rife said, to never break confidentiality and share medical information. In my opinion, it's difficult to know if that's really done here. The surgeon is not identifying him by name, but he's definitely getting a lot of attention for himself.
But let's be honest, comparing Matt's old photos to his new ones, it's clear he had some help from a surgeon. Online, people even nicknamed it the LA 10 treatment, that polished, sculpted Hollywood look, instead of laughing it off. Matt keeps clapping back in the comments, which only makes him look insecure. One fan even wrote, the surgeon wasn't even talking about him by name, yet he jumped in like a whiny baby. That says everything. And honestly, that energy just adds more chaos to this whole e.l.f. cosmetics mess. Now, let's pull back the curtain on something even messier, how e.l.f. Cosmetics actually makes their products. Because this part? Wild. Did you know e.l.f. once got caught up in a full-blown scandal tied to North Korea? Yeah, that shocked a lot of people. Reports revealed e.l.f. had imported over 150 shipments of false eyelash kits that contained materials traced directly back to North Korea. Here's the problem. The US has strict bans on trade with North Korea, and for good reason. But some of these materials slipped through e.l.f.'s supply chain by way of China. And suddenly, this clean beauty brand was linked to one of the most heavily sanctioned countries in the world. That's not just a bad look, that's a dangerous one. Because if you can't even trust where the materials are coming from, how can customers trust what's going into their skin? This is exactly why regulations exist. Shady supply chains open the door to unsafe or even contaminated ingredients. Customers were left wondering, was e.l.f. really paying attention or just chasing the cheapest deals possible? But the contradictions didn't stop there. e.l.f. proudly stamps cruelty-free across its products. But here's where it gets messy.
Did you know on October 7th, the world's largest arms manufacturer stocks all went up? And did you know there's a connection to e.l.f.? e.l.f.'s top investors are BlackRock and Vanguard. But what do these companies do? Are the top investors of pretty much everything in the world, from banks to pharmaceutical companies to media outlets. And more importantly, are they heavily involved in the arms industry, investing in dozens of companies that help fund the IOF. These companies include Boeing, RTX, General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman, and Lockheed Martin. Using Lockheed Martin as an example, they alone generated $4 billion in a collaboration with the blue and white state, supplying them with things like F-35 jets, rockets, radars, lasers, and other military equipment. And these military contractors speak candidly about how this war is good for business. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink is one of the richest people in the world, and this might come as a surprise, but likely does not give a damn about makeup. As beauty lovers, the craftsmanship, history, personality, ethics of a brand is important to us. Whether or not its owners try to do good in the world or understand what their products can mean for people is important to us. So if you're a big beauty lover, just know where your money is going.
e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer on the right, Tatcha the Liquid Self Canvas on the left. These literally feel the same. e.l.f. Powder Grip Primer on the right, Milk Hydro Grip on the left. These even smell the same. The e.l.f. Halo Glow. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Shades are a little off, but we'll make it work. For the brows, we have the e.l.f. Brow Lift versus the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I compared these in a previous video, and I saw no difference in longevity. For foundation, we have the e.l.f. CC Cream. I feel like this foundation is what started e.l.f.'s dupe era, because it's actually a dupe for the IT Cosmetics CC.
In China, animal testing has historically been required by law for cosmetics sold on the market. So how does that work? On one hand, e.l.f. pushes cruelty-free branding to US consumers. On the other, they're navigating laws in countries where animal testing is still part of the process. That kind of double standard has left fans questioning whether cruelty-free is just a marketing buzzword instead of a true commitment. For years, claims have circled that e.l.f. isn't truly cruelty-free, especially with products they've sold in China under testing rules that don't align with American standards. And it gets darker. At one point, reports surfaced that government investigators found dog fur being collected and sold off for use in brushes and even false eyelashes tied to cosmetics companies. By 2016, e.l.f. suddenly announced a switch to synthetic fibers. But the timing raised eyebrows. Did they genuinely change? Or were they trying to bury ugly headlines about what they may have been using before? Then came another messy controversy: e.l.f.'s big move into Twitch. Last month, the company became the first major beauty brand to launch a channel on the platform, saying it wanted to authentically connect with beauty and gaming fans. Before the launch, they even tweeted asking for nominations of beauty influencers who also streamed. Black creators, men, and non-binary people responded with excitement. But when the first stream went live, fans noticed something glaring: the absence of those very communities. Instead, the lineup excluded diverse voices. Backlash erupted instantly. The company issued an apology on Twitter, promising diversity in future streams and even creating a contact email for concerns. But many fans felt it was too little, too late. To them, e.l.f.'s Twitch debut wasn't about allyship or inclusion. It was just another corporate PR stunt. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. e.l.f. is a corporation. Its top priority isn't your skin or your well-being. It's profit. That $10 mascara in your bag, it probably cost them less than 50 cents to make. Cheap manufacturing, sketchy sourcing, and high markups. That's the real business model. Fans are waking up to the idea that affordable makeup might just be a cover for cutting corners in disturbing ways. The Twitch backlash wasn't a one-off either. Fans also dragged e.l.f. for its awkward Mean Girls reboot tie-in. Instead of feeling clever, the placement came across as laughably fake. Viewers couldn't buy the idea of Regina George, a character wrapped in luxury, using drugstore lip oil. The marketing clashed with the story, making the reboot feel more like a 2-hour ad campaign than a nostalgic revival. Then there was the corpse paint palette collab with Liquid Death in 2024. On paper, edgy. In practice, a disaster. Instead of partnering with authentic goth and emo creators who actually live that world, e.l.f. sent PR boxes to random influencers who had no connection to the subculture. The disconnect was obvious: real makeup artists. And scene leaders called it out, saying once again, the people who built the style were ignored while mainstream influencers cashed in, and the problems kept stacking up. In 2025, e.l.f. was hit with a class action lawsuit in California for what's called slack fill, oversized packaging that makes it look like you're getting more product than you actually are. One consumer, Geneva Gonzalez, claimed the packaging was intentionally misleading, with bulky chambers and wasted space designed to trick buyers. If the courts side with her, it could be another expensive stain on e.l.f.'s already messy reputation. But that's not all. e.l.f.'s business has long leaned on dupes, cheaper versions of popular high-end products. Their CC cream mirrors, IT cosmetics. Their Halo Glow mimics Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless filter. Their brow wax echoes Anastasia's Brow Freeze. Some fans love it, calling it democratized beauty. Others call it theft, copying creativity while cashing in. And while the hype grows, so do complaints. On TikTok and Reddit, users have shared stories of breakouts, irritation, and mysterious skin reactions after using e.l.f. products. Critics blame cheap ingredients, heavy silicones, and murky supply chains. More than one creator has shown before and after photos where their skin broke out after introducing e.l.f. into their routine. The affordability comes with a hidden cost, and for some, that cost is their skin. From animal testing controversies to Twitch backlash, from tone-deaf product placements to lawsuits, it feels like e.l.f. is stumbling from one PR mess to another. Add this to the Matt Rife backlash and the billion-dollar Hailey Bieber deal, and fans are left asking, is e.l.f. spiraling, or is it just business as usual? And that's the reality of e.l.f. Cosmetics. Behind every viral product and every flashy campaign, there's a trail of questions, controversies, and fans demanding the truth. From cruelty-free debates to Twitch scandals, from lawsuits to questionable collabs, the pattern is clear. e.l.f. doesn't just play in the beauty space, they play with fire. But here's the thing, you're the jury. Do you think all of these missteps are proof that e.l.f. is spiraling out of control? Or are people being too harsh on a brand that simply gives consumers what they want at a lower price? Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. Maybe e.l.f. knows exactly what they're doing, cutting corners, chasing hype, and counting on fans to forgive them because of cheap price tags. I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let's have an honest conversation. Was the corpse paint palette just bad marketing, or was it cultural disrespect? Was the Mean Girls tie-in clever, or one of the cringiest product placements ever? And most importantly, do you still trust e.l.f.? Enough to keep their products in your routine, or are you ready to walk away? If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next big story. It's free, it helps this channel keep going, and it makes sure you're always first to know when the next scandal breaks. And don't leave just yet, because the drama doesn't end here. click the next video on your screen right now, where we uncover an even messier Hollywood controversy that's going to leave you speechless. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.